Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor and I just hit the cord to my microphone. How's it going? Welcome to another episode of WoCrendor. This is a show where I answer the questions you ask me on twitter.com/Crendor or facebook.com/Crendor. I'm always just like, hey, I'm taking questions, and then I get questions, and then I answer them. So, that's the show. Welcome. First question. Corpus Leet on Twitter asks, would you play on a legacy server if they brought them back as official servers? So I've already made 2 videos on this. One's on just all the server, private vanilla server stuff that's been happening. The other one is on the pristine servers, which Blizzard was like, would you like to play these? As for if I'd play on a legacy server, if they brought it as like an official server, they're like, hey, we've created it, here it is, go crazy. I would play on it. I'm not gonna lie, I would play on it. I don't know if I'd play a lot, but I would create a character, I would start leveling. Maybe I wouldn't get very far. I'd probably make videos or stream it. But I would play on the legacy server, at least for a bit. And you know what? I've like the more and more I've thought about it, the more and more I've actually become more interested in playing on a legacy server. So like, if they actually implemented it, I would play on a legacy server, and I think it'd be a fun thing to do, to kind of like go back and experience how WoW was at the start, and that way a lot of people that didn't get to experience it would experience it, and a lot of people that haven't played the game in a while would come back. I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what, I actually want legacy servers now. I'm not like going out of my way to be like, you better do it, but I wouldn't mind it. So it's crazy because I think like a year or 2 ago I was like, I don't think they should do it or whatever, and now like my opinions just completely changed with everything that's gone on, and the more and more I've talked about it and looked into it and all that. So now part of me thinks it's gonna happen because they're like meeting with them and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I hope it does happen. And I think it would get people back playing as well, on top of the new expansion coming out, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next question comes from Bailey James Stacy on Facebook, and they ask, do you think Blizzard is really trying to keep WoW going or trying to let us go slowly? Working on a 10-plus-year-old game could be taxing, so could you see them wanting to end it? I've thought about this, but I mean, there's plenty of old games that are still going. And the fact that WoW is one of the biggest games ever, I mean, I don't think you can stop working on it. I mean, even though they've lost subs, right? Even though they're down to like around 5 million, that's still a lot of subs. That's still more than like most every game. Even, I've said this in other episodes, but like EVE Online has had like between like 500,000 and 1 million, like always, and like they've been fine. And so, I mean, the fact that Blizzard still has 5 million with WoW is still a lot of subs, so I think they'll be fine. As for, like, wanting to end it, as long as they're profiting, they won't want to end it. I mean, they're just, in the end of things, they're a business that's making money. And as long as they're making money, they're going to keep going with it. But I would still, everyone's like, what if they made a new MMO? The only time I would want a new MMO is I would want WoW 2, but hear me out. I'm not just like, yay, WoW 2. It would have to be like a revolutionary MMO. Like, it wouldn't be like all the other, it wouldn't be like Guild Wars 2. It wouldn't be like World of Warcraft. It wouldn't be like anything. It would be like, oh my god, this MMORPG is this is revolutionary. This is like, this changes how games are played. It would have to be that big of a difference. It would have to make that big of a difference in order to like warrant itself being an entirely new game that you would buy. Because I mean, people are like, I'd want to transfer my character, but the whole point behind this would be like the game would be so different that you wouldn't be able to transfer your character. It wouldn't be like Madden or something where you're just like, oh yeah, new season, new roster. It would be like, oh my god, yeah, like there'd be more characters, more races, there'd be more stuff, the world would be huge, like crazy things would be happening that wouldn't even be possible in this World of Warcraft or other games. And that's what it would have to be, like this whole new engine and like everything. That's what I would want. It would blow our minds. It would have to blow all of our minds. Be like, oh my god, that's the only way I would want WoW 2. Otherwise, if they're like, hey, it's the same game but there's some new stuff, it's like, well, it's just an expansion, right? So yeah, I think they're in a tricky situation because I think they'd love to do that, but they also know that that's extremely difficult to do. So I'm still holding out for Warcraft 4. I think Warcraft 4 would be great. That's just me. Next question comes from Benjamin Forrestal, and they ask, who is your favorite old god? After playing Hearthstone and already knowing the old gods from WoW and stuff, I'd say Yogg-Saron. Yogg-Saron has given me a bunch of fun now in Hearthstone and in WoW. Because, I mean, you fight him in Ulduar. Is it Uld? Yeah, it is Ulduar. I almost thought Uldum. I was like, wait, this is the place I'm flying over right now is Uldum, right? Yeah. Wait, what's that other one? There's so many like Ulds. But yeah, I'd say Yogg-Saron. He's just a big like squid tentacle monster. I mean, they all kind of are, but he's my favorite. I'd say Yogg-Saron. What about Kate Zigans asks, what about Crendor? Also, since you didn't answer my question at PAX, if you, Dodger, TB, and Jesse were in a fist fight to the death, who would win? So if you didn't know, at PAX, there's this whole kind of like meme type thing going around, which was, what about Crendor? So we went out to dinner with like all these streamer YouTube people, and people kept coming up to Jesse at the dinner being like, Jesse, you're awesome. And one person was just like, I love Cox and Crendor. It's a great podcast. And then I'm like, I was sitting right there, and I was like, but I'm here too. Like, the fact they're like, I love Cox and Crendor, and then we're only talking to Jesse, and I'm like, boy. So TB and everyone was there, and I was like, what about Crendor? And that just became the running gag, and we carried that over into our panel and stuff. So, fun meme. What about Crendor? Also, who would win? So it would have to be culling style, right? It'd be like a free-for-all. I feel like they'd probably try to take out Dodger first, right? But she's very tiny and agile, so she would just like try to get around about like I don't know. I would try to make the other people fight each other, like Jesse and TB. I'd try to like get them to fight each other first. Then I'd probably try to get like take out Dodger because I'm also like smaller and very skinny and bony. So you got to do that, and then I would have to hope either Jesse or TB went down. Then I'd try to... Actually, you know what? Maybe I'd team up with Dodger and then try to take down whoever won that. And then me and Dodger would fight. But otherwise, if we didn't, I feel like Jesse would just win. I feel like Jesse would win. Just cause. So yeah. Next question comes from Eli Van Zant. I hope I said that right. And they said, what are your recommendations for first-time BlizzCon attendees? Brother and I are going this year. So BlizzCon is one of my favorite conventions to go to, as you might expect. And I've gone since 2011, pretty much every year since 2011, which, fun story, prior to that 2011 BlizzCon, I'd never been on a plane. Never been to a convention. Essentially just my first time just doing anything. So my first BlizzCon there, it was just like an overwhelming, it was overwhelming. And you like go in there and you're like, oh my god, there's like Blizzard stuff all over and there's games to play and they're like, here's our new things. And it's like, what am I gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. And now that I've gone to more convention, it's almost like BlizzCon is like not a full convention because it only lasts 2 days, while stuff like PAX and all that E3 lasts like 3 days. So it's a bit underwhelming now that I've like gone so much and gone to other conventions. But for a first time BlizzCon, like it's still fun to go. Don't get me wrong. Like I still love going to BlizzCon. I wish BlizzCon was 3 days, honestly, because I go to some other conventions and I'm like, I don't know what to do now. And I'm like, at BlizzCon, I would know what to do. I'd be like, oh man, I'm going to go do this and that and talk to these people, blah, blah. But I would say just like enjoy the experience of just going and just seeing like all these people around you that love Blizzard games and love either WoW or Diablo or Hearthstone or StarCraft, just like, and embrace it all. Maybe you haven't even played StarCraft, but then you go to BlizzCon, you see everyone like freaking out about it, and you're like, whoa, StarCraft! Like, it's that type of environment where you just get excited just because you're around everything and like-minded people, and it's really fun. You'll love it. It's great. As for like recommendations, yeah, just enjoy it. That's like, no, I think that's such a like, what should I do at BlizzCon? Have fun. It's such a like generic response. But I mean, really, like, there's so much to do. If you've been to other conventions before, I would say, even like it's such a it's such a weird thing because it's not like other conventions because it's solely focused on Blizzard game. All right, I feel like I'm not really answering the question, so move on. Just enjoy it, have fun, have some goofs, some gaffs, and yeah. Next question comes from Sebastian Lorenzen, and they say, Crendor, is there anything that is a hindrance to you? For example, ADD, excessive procrastination, social anxiety, IKEA security, etc. How do you cope? So, I never had ADD. A lot of people think I have ADD, but I don't. However, I did have social anxiety. Especially like what I just talked about, like first time BlizzCon, I had really bad social anxiety then. Because I've never been a social person, per se. As of the past like 3 or 4 years, I've more been like thrown into the social fire and like been forced like to be social. It's like I've gone to more conventions, I've met fans and other YouTubers and streamers and done all that. And when you keep doing that, it's almost like you just keep practicing being social, and a lot of it's just practicing and just becoming good at that type of skill. So that's how I view it. I view it as a skill. But it can't, because like when you're not that social and you go through stuff like high school and stuff, and then you get cast into the world and you're still not social, it becomes very awkward. Hence social anxiety and feeling of awkwardness and embarrassment and all that. But it is possible to get better. I just have a weird, unique situation of being like a YouTube streamer person that had to like be forced into the fire. So that was one thing. That was social anxiety. If you look at my BlizzCon videos from back then, like 2011, I blink a lot. I didn't even know I blinked a lot. It's like a nervous twitch or something. I don't do it anymore. But back then, it was just like I was so nervous and everything. I was just like constant blinking. And everyone in the video is like, why is he blinking so much? And I'm like, I don't know. So that was one thing. Excessive procrastination. I feel like everyone suffers from procrastination. I feel like there's very few people that don't procrastinate. Because it's easy to procrastinate. You can always find things to do that are not the thing you're supposed to do. Right? So you're like, I want to work on this video, or I want to write, or I want to do this thing. And you're like, but I could go to IKEA, or watch TV, or do this, or play this game by myself, or play League of Legends. Or like, your brain's always trying to procrastinate. And I feel like the best way to get over that is to you need willpower just to be able to like, be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Here we go. And just that, as well as almost like a skill. I've gotten better at that as well, because I used to procrastinate a lot. And I don't procrastinate as much, but I still procrastinate. But I feel like everyone procrastinates. So, but I feel like, yeah, everyone has their hindrances. And it's about overcoming them. It's about getting better at like handling them. Like, even if you do have social anxiety and it's really bad, it's still progress if you go from like really bad social anxiety to mediocre social anxiety. Because I mean, you're still improving. It's all about just improvement and becoming a better you. That sounds like it'd be a Disney song. Like, it's all about improvement, becoming a better you. Yeah. Yeah. Next question comes from Ninja73737 on Twitter, and they ask, why did you join YouTube? I joined YouTube because it was fun. That's really like the main reason I joined YouTube. I wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna make money. This is gonna become my job. I was like, this seems like a fun thing to do. I was playing WoW. It was January of 2009. And I just wanted to make WoW videos. It was, what's that, 7 years ago? Oh my god. So I joined YouTube 7 years ago. And I was playing WoW at the time. I was raiding, having fun. And I was like, I want to make a story about a gnome. And I did. And it was really bad. And then I kept making videos. And they slightly got better. Up until we've arrived at our current state. 7 years. That's like still blowing my mind. 7 years ago I started this. That's insane. That is insane. There's just like so many things that have happened in that 7 years that it's... but yeah, that's why I started. I just wanted to make videos. I wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna make so much money. Like, I feel like that's why a lot of people start nowadays. And that's why I still always tell people, I'm like, you have to have fun. Even if, like, if I'm making something like a WoW machinima, maybe I didn't enjoy it. Or maybe I don't enjoy it as much as I did back then, because it was so new. And like, oh man, I have so many ideas, and I've done so many of the ideas I've already wanted to do. I still enjoy it. Like, if I still, like, force myself to be like, alright, we're gonna work, we're not gonna procrastinate, we're gonna go in and do this. I still have fun. Like, I still enjoy making pointless top 10s. I still enjoy, like, when I made that Billy and Boar Thrills running wild thing. I still have fun. I'm not just like, oh, I gotta get through this. So, I feel like I'll always enjoy YouTube. And I've been enjoying streaming more because it lets me kind of... I never really like putting up Let's Plays of games. Like, sure, I put up like Banjo, Tooie, and all that, kind of like the VOD so everyone can see it. But I feel like that's special because it's a mega stream. But as for being like, Let's Play episode 48, like, I've never been a big Let's Player person. So I enjoy streaming because that allows me to Let's Play without having to edit anything, or, you know what I'm saying, you just turn on the stream and you play. So that's been really nice. If you couldn't tell by my, like, episode 108 of WoW leveling and how much I've slowed down with WoW leveling, I'm like, man, I should just stream this. Maybe I will. Maybe I will stream it. I don't know. Moving on. William Huff asks, with the imminent release of Legion, do you think Blizzard will redeem itself given that Warlords was a subpar expansion? I hope so. I really enjoyed Warlords for the first few months, and then it hit that point, the most expansions hit, where you're like, I've done everything. But it was even a bit worse, because it was like, I've done everything, and I don't want to play Garrison, the mobile game, right? I would have probably played Garrison if it was on mobile device, to be honest, but it wasn't, so I think they missed an opportunity there. But I hope it. I think from what I've seen so far, I love the zones. I love Demon Hunters are really fun. From like everything I've seen and from playing the alpha, I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna be good. Oh my god, that's a face! Look at that. The eyes, the nose, the mouth. Okay. So yeah, I think it'll redeem itself. I don't know if it'll be the best expansion, but I think it's gonna be better than what we've seen from Draenor. And we won't be traveling back in time, so that's nice. Next question is from Bob Bowers, and they ask, do they know you at IKEA? And sadly, they do. Only one person, though. It's the greeter guy. Whenever I walk in, there's this greeter guy, and he never says hi anymore, because he's just like, this guy again. So really, he's not the greatest greeter guy. He doesn't greet me anymore. But I mean, he's probably just like, why does this guy keep coming to IKEA like every week? So, I don't know, dude. He knows me. Nobody else really knows me because they have a lot of employees there, so I just walk around and have fun. I love my standing desk. I got this standing desk from IKEA. It goes up and down. And so you can sit or stand, and that's really nice. Right now I'm standing, and so, which is better than sitting until your joints start to hurt, and then you sit down. Great purchase. They also know me at Starbucks, like the one Starbucks I go to. I'm always like, I'll get a tall coffee in a grande cup. And then they're like, yep. So they just start making it when I walk in. I'm like, sweet. Excellent. And the final question comes from Base Dozer. And they ask, when will the sloth sweatpants be back? Great question. They discontinued the old sloth sweatpants because the manufacturer wasn't making that sweatpant anymore. So now we found a new manufacturer for sweatpants. And I wanted to ask everyone this, but would you rather have the previous sloth that's on the sweatpants that I had previously, or would you rather have a new design for the new sweatpants? I was like, maybe I should do the old ones because people still want the old one. But then I was like, maybe if we only slightly change it, it'll be good. I don't know. So that's what I wanted to ask everybody. Like, what would you want? Would you want the old sweatpants because you never got them, or would you want a new type of sweatpant, sloth style? Comment below. My throat is getting very dry right now, so I think I'm gonna stop. But thank you for listening. Again, twitter.com/Crendor, facebook.com/Crendor. Also, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Crendor. Everything with the Crendor. What about Crendor? Okay. See you.